Hoping Joe Biden will be certified and selected president of the United States, big tech ramps up its censorship of Republicans, conservatives, and Christians even more, and the Democrat media are pulling out all the stops in what they believe is the final month of the Trump administration. Now, the media keeps lying as big tech continues suppressing the free speech of those not towing the Liberal Party line. Surveys now show that there's indisputable proof that Democrat voters were clueless about actual Biden corruption scandals, and President Trump has been censored hundreds of times now on Twitter alone. I'm David Fiorazo, and this is Christ and Culture. While Trump administration attorneys work on challenging the validity of bizarre vote tallying, anyone interested in free and fair elections should seriously take a closer look at the role of big tech. While liberal media activists are currently talking about Joe Biden's dogs, his broken foot, and the wonderful cabinet appointments he is making, the old joker is yet to be censored, flagged, or suppressed on any social media platform. What does this tell you? It's not only the Democrat media mob that refuses to serve all Americans. Big tech is also complicit. I agree with those who say today's mainstream media are now enemy combatants, and the battlefield is information and technology. According to the Media Research Center, Twitter has censored the Trump campaign 325 times. And how many did they censor Joe Biden? 0. Not once. And they didn't stop after the election. Through Thanksgiving, they worked feverishly to flag and suppress tweets from Trump and his campaign. Since November 23rd, Twitter slapped labels on 63 Trump tweets, including this one. Quote, "Big tech and the fake news media have partnered to suppress. Freedom of the press is gone, a thing of the past. That's why they refuse to report the real facts and figures of the 2020 election." Or even, "Where's Hunter?" Washington Times columnist Robert Knight points out that Google accounts for more than 90% of internet searches, which can easily determine elections by adjusting algorithms to favor the Democrat Party. In his new column, The Digital Election Heist, he writes this: "Regardless of the extent of vote fraud, Google, Facebook, and Twitter fixed the election for Joe Biden over President Trump. There should be no doubt in any honest observer's mind. Undercover operatives for Project Veritas caught a Google executive on camera last year boasting that only Google could prevent, quote, the next Trump situation. Facebook regularly either censored conservative material or added caveats." Knight also refers to behavioral psychologist Robert Epstein, who has even warned the U.S. Congress about Google's search algorithm that can shift the voting preferences of undecided voters. They even have a name for the process, SEME, Search Engine Manipulation Effect, and explained how it works. Well, the bottom line is they're doing this without anyone knowing it, because search ranking bias can be masked so that people have no awareness of the manipulation. Just over a week ago, Mr. Epstein told Tucker Carlson on Fox News that he believed the SEME technique had cost President Trump a bare minimum of at least 6 million votes. How does he know this? He said that he had 733 field agents in 3 swing states, Arizona, Florida, and North Carolina, and that his team recorded discrepancies such as voting reminders sent only to liberals on Google's homepage. Not a single field agent received a reminder, so he blew the whistle on the big tech giant, who then began sending voting reminders to everyone. A month ago, Mr. Epstein told Carlson that, quote, "just based on the first 150,000 searches that we've looked at, and that's about 1.5 million search results over 1 million web pages, we're finding very substantial pro-liberal bias in all 10, or at least 9 of the 10 search results on the first page of Google search results. Wow. In another election twist, since there was an unprecedented amount of early voting, the damage could have already been done. Out of 156.8 million, more than 100 million ballots were cast before Election Day. We were warned. But for those who voted in person, it won't surprise anyone that many Joe Biden voters get their information from CNN, MSNBC, and progressive social media sites. So it shouldn't surprise us that on every major news story, Biden-Harris voters who used these sources were misinformed or in the dark about key issues. Now, voters surveyed in 7 swing states were asked what they knew about some top news stories leading up to the presidential election. Ready? 82% of Joe Biden voters had no idea about at least one of the major news stories. But listen to this. 1 out of every 6, or 17% of Democrat voters said, had they known about these stories, they would not have voted for Joe Biden. Wow. Now, for those keeping score at home, aside from voter fraud and cheating, this alone would have shifted the election outcome, and Trump would have easily won a second term. Whew. So, what stories did the survey ask Biden voters about? First, they were kept in the dark about the documented Hunter Biden scandal with China and the Ukraine, the Joe Biden sexual assault cases, including his former employee, Tara Reade, and the fact Kamala Harris is the most liberal leftist U.S. senator in history. Second, they were clueless about 5 positive Trump news items, including the record 33% economic growth he presided over, U.S. energy independence, Trump administration Middle East peace deals resulting in his Nobel Peace Prize nominations, and the fact Trump created a record-breaking 11 million new jobs between May and October. And finally, Biden-Harris voters did not know about Operation Warp Speed success with COVID vaccines and treatments. We no longer have a free republic when the nation is subject to a one-party national press and every major social media and tech company is run by liberal Democrats. It is imperative we find new alternatives and raise awareness about this major problem. Mainstream media Democrats spent 4 years attacking and lying about the president. Their coverage, 93% negative. They call it, quote, reporting. If just one, think about this, if just one of President Trump's sons was involved in a major corruption scandal, do you not think that every media outlet would be all over it? Of course. The enemies of God and America worked constantly to hide bad news about Joe Biden, how radical Kamala Harris is, and the truth about their policies. And they hid or ignored good news and accomplishments of the Trump administration. Without their bias, fraud, and manipulation, elections wouldn't even be close. So now, millions of Americans are just being told to move on? Just accept the disputed results, work together, and forget about it all? But we can't give up without a fight, friends, so stay informed, check your news sources, email and message others maybe, instead of putting everything on your social media platforms. Use the phone or text friends and family. I've personally been flagged, suppressed, and shadow banned on at least 3 social media accounts. And this video you're watching, an accompanying article, will probably have limited visibility. But for those who get it, please share. Now, God is in control, so keep the faith. And at the same time, pray for truth, justice, and know that somehow we've got to get back to having freedom of speech in America for all people again. Contact state representatives and do what you can. This is no time to wave the white flag. God bless you and keep speaking the truth about things that matter. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Most of you know our show is being censored by big tech. It's hidden really on YouTube, Facebook, Sadly, this impacts our long-term ability to produce the show, so we're tackling the problem by launching our brand new Patriot Club. Look at this beauty, right? For a $99 tax-deductible donation, you'll not only keep our show going, but we'll ship you this stainless steel tumbler etched with the American flag, and freedom never tasted so good. Visit patriotclub.us to show your support. That's patriotclub.us. Thank you and God bless.